There are many today who say that we should never lose a firefighter, and I wish that this were possible. But a great many firefighters have heroically offered the ultimate sacrifice when they met with the unexpected, or when they refused to allow to lose another in the performance of their duties. These moments when we lose someone are where the services that you are studying this week are so important, when our heritage becomes so necessary to embrace and becomes so critical in our times of healing. This week you study your service as an art, as a religion, and as a brotherhood. Firefighters express justified pride in our history of selflessness, bravery, and honor. Our heritage permeates our values. Now our tactics may change, technology and how we apply it on the fire ground, that will surely change. We know that, but where we came from, and more importantly, our heritage, which we uphold in this room today and over the next 2 days, those values and what you're doing here are eternal. Our heritage is our bedrock and our core. It's our anchor in times of desperate need. It's our source of strength as firefighters, and we must never allow the self-absorbed outsiders to dictate who or what we are. We are the bravest, and we are our brother's keepers. Our motto is Semper Vigilante. That means ever watchful. This phrase describes how we feel about our communities, and more importantly, it dictates your mission. I'm proud of where we've been and what we've done and how we've gotten it done. And I refuse to make excuses or apologies for being an American firefighter. And I will never allow anyone to show disrespect to the American Fire Service. If we... We are going to need from time to time to tighten up some individual behaviors, and I understand that. For I know, as do you, that carelessness is not part of our heritage, and recklessness is not one of our traditions. And certainly, disrespect belongs to neither. And we know there's no true science to firefighting to explain what real firefighting is. We understand that the fire ground can be messy, unpredictable, and chaotic. We often function on what's called a fine critical boundary, a natural boundary, if you will. And we know that on any given day on the fire ground, a small change in one condition, often one almost too small to notice, can lead to radically different fire behaviors and tragically to sometimes unpredictable and unforeseeable results. Now, eliminating all the risks in firefighting will always be impossible, because you see, to do brave and heroic things involves risks. And every day something that's never happened before is happening, and we will always be putting others' lives ahead of our own. But who we are is important. Bad things will happen on the fire ground, sometimes very bad things, but we are firefighters, so we accept those risks because we know the rewards of our work are so great. We accept those risks because we have decided to live our lives in the service to others. The skills you are learning here today are needed more than ever because our traditions are the links that keep us strong. You know, the pipes that you play freely in here today were once outlawed. They were described as instruments of war, and they were illegal to use. The beautiful sound that we listened to was once a call to fight and to die, if necessary. As in every phase of our lives, music has meaning and relevance. The sound of the pipes to firefighters should stir you as no other sound on God's earth. The echoes of amazing grace should at once fill your heart with joy and at the same time tear it out. The pipes and drums have been inspiring and directing men in battle for centuries, boosting morale among the rank and file. The heroic bravery of individual pipers has been documented as far back as the 17th century. One accounting tells of a piper who was so badly wounded yet climbs upon a rock and plays tune after tune, inspiring and spurring men on in the Battle of Cromdale Hill against royalist forces until he finally collapsed and died. That hill today is still called Piper's Rock. Today we celebrate the lives who fall in our service with pipes. We celebrate their lives because we know how hard they worked to ensure their own safety and survivability. We celebrate them because we were firefighters, and you are today's modern warrior poets. And the honors of the guard, the straight-backed and properly set jaws of friends who dare not break, for their role is to represent the dignity of strength and honor. Theirs is a task of monumental and insurmountable responsibility, returning the final and proper salute to a fallen comrade. The world is made better with every new honor guard member who steps up. The world is reminded that there's still hope for mankind. The role of the honor guard is to honor service, country, family, and God. The role which gives glory to a life well lived and thanks to the Almighty God. Today we stand during what many may seem as the downturn of the American Fire Service, but we in this room know that it's simply the phoenix rising from the ashes, and that she will rise, and she will be led by you, and that courtesy and dignity is returned to our firehouses, and service will overshadow ego, and honor will return to every rig. As I thought about how to honor you all here today, I felt inadequate and shame, for my words fail to match even a small part of your honor. But I think if you will bear with me for a short reading of a piece by William Shakespeare's Henry I, in which Shakespeare tries to describe what was going on in the final battle that Henry was facing against the French. Henry was this tough little English guy who went over and decided to kick France's butt, which really isn't all that tough. But But Henry goes over, and he's down to his last 500 men, and he was pinned down before a battle. And he speaks to his men. That's a true story. Shakespeare tried to put what he thought those words might have been. I think they describe what real brotherhood is, what really belonging means, what service is about, and what honor and dignity is about. So bear with me, because my Shakespeare is not as good as it once was. This is from Henry I. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispin. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when the day is named, and rouse at the name of Crispin. He that shall see this day and live to old age will yearly on the Bee-Hill feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow the day St. Crispin's. He will then strip his sleeve and show his scars, and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot. But he remember with advantages the feats he did that day. Then shall he remember our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Henry the King, Beaufort and Exeter, Warwick, Talbot, Salisbury, and Gloucester. And being flowing their cups freshly remembered, this story shall the good men teach their sons. And Crispin shall ne'er go by from this day to the ending of the world. But in it we shall be remembered, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, ne'er he ever so vile. This day shall so gentle his condition be. And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed that they were not here, and hold their manhood cheap, whilst anyone speaks that they fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day. They were going out to meet 10,000 Frenchmen, heavily armed, well-fed, and highly trained. They were but 500. It rained hard that night before, and the French in their heavy armor were slaughtered by Henry and his 500, and he came to dominate the French for years to come. But what he said there has meaning to every man in this room. Those who shed their blood together have a bond that can never be broken. Those who pay honor to those men and those women who serve have a bond that can never be broken, that soars beyond anything you will ever do again in your lives, and so I honor you. I hope that when this day was conceived and planned, that someone noted it, and I hope it was by my brother Rick. I will always count myself lucky to have been allowed to have been here. I hope that many years from now, many people claim that they were here among you, but you gentle few will know that you were here today. When a spark of passion, when a spark of honor was set loose among the fire service. Today we throw off political correctness and we shout that we love this country and that we love this land, and as long as God will let us, we will defend her and we will defend her people. Please remember to pray for our troops and our children. Thank you, and may God bless America. Enjoy your time.